Hello friends, myself Nalini Gandhijana, Senior Lecturer in Physics, Bharaneshwar Mahavidyalaya, Utkal University. Our topic is to find the components of Coriolis force. Already in our previous class, we have discussed what is Coriolis force and what is the expression for Coriolis force. Let us have a brief review of the topic. What is Coriolis force? It is the imaginary force which acts on a body moving in a rotating frame. It is the fictitious force or imaginary force acting on a body moving in a rotating frame. And the mathematical expression for Coriolis force is Fc is equal to minus 2 m omega cross Vr, where omega represents the angular velocity of the rotating frame and Vr represents the velocity of the body with respect to the rotating frame, and the negative sign indicates that the direction of Coriolis force is along the opposite direction of omega cross Vr vector, but the direction of omega cross V is always perpendicular to the plane containing omega vector and V vector. That is why the direction of Coriolis force is always perpendicular to the omega and V vector. Here we have to find out the components of Coriolis force. And what are the components of Coriolis force? There are two components of Coriolis force which are known as the horizontal component and the vertical component. So, to find the horizontal component and the vertical component of Coriolis force, let us consider a particle of a mass m be projected with a velocity v in a horizontal plane at a point P on the surface of earth. That means, to find out the components of Coriolis force, let us consider a body to be projected in the vertical direction in the horizontal plane of the surface of earth. Okay. To derive the expressions for the horizontal and vertical components of Coriolis force, let us consider a particle to be projected in the horizontal plane on the surface of earth. Let in the figure P is equal to point of observation where the particle is present. M is equal to mass of the particle V is equal to velocity of the particle on the surface of earth. Velocity of the particle phi is equal to latitude of the point P on the surface of earth at P, and omega is equal to angular velocity of earth. Here this one is the north pole and this is the south pole. Now, since the earth is rotating about the z plane, that is the z axis, then its surface lies in the xy plane. So, the velocity of the body on the surface of earth can be expressed as V vector is equal to V y j cap plus V z k cap, where V y and V z are the rectangular components of V along the y direction and the z direction, where V y and V z is equal to rectangular components of V vector along y axis and z axis respectively. And the components of omega will be expressed. Now, the angular velocity of earth with respect to its rectangular components, we have expressed the velocity of the particle with respect to its rectangular components, and it is expressed as V is equal to V y j cap plus V z k cap, as the particle is moving in the yz plane, where Vy and Vz are the rectangular components of a V along the y axis and z axis respectively. Similarly, the angular velocity of earth can be expressed in terms of its rectangular components, as we can write omega vector is equal to omega into cos 90 minus phi into k cap plus I cap plus omega sin into 90 minus phi into k cap, which can be written as omega vector is equal to omega sin phi I cap plus omega cos phi k cap. So, Coriolis force is Fc, which is equal to minus 2m omega cross V. And from equations 1 and 2, we can write the values of V and omega. So, this becomes as minus 2m. In place omega, we can write omega sin phi I cap plus omega cos phi k cap cross Vy j cap plus Vz k cap. Now, expanding these terms, we can write minus 2m omega into Vy into sin phi into I cap cross j cap plus omega into Vz into sin phi into I cap cross k cap plus omega into Vy into cos phi into k cap cross j cap plus omega into Vz into cos phi into k cap cross k cap. Now, simplifying these terms, we can write minus 2m I cross j is nothing but k cap. So, it will be written as omega into Vy into sin phi into k cap plus omega into Vz into sin phi into I cross k is minus j cap plus omega into Vy into cos phi k cross j is minus I cap plus 0 because k cross k is 0 here. Okay. Now, rewriting these terms, we can write Fc Coriolis force is equal to minus 2m omega into Vy into sin phi into k cap minus plus 2m omega Vz sin phi into j cap minus plus 2m omega Vy into cos phi I cap and implies as Fc is equal to minus 2m omega sin phi within bracket it will be Vy k cap minus Vz j cap plus 2m omega Vy cos phi I cap. Let this is equation 3. But in terms of its rectangular components, we can express the Coriolis force as but Fc is equal to Fh plus Fv, where Fh is equal to horizontal component of Coriolis force and Fv is the vertical component of Coriolis force. So, in terms of components, we can write Fh. So, comparing equations 3 and 4, comparing equations 3 and 4, we can write, okay. Now comparing equations 3 and 4, we can write Fh is equal to minus 2m omega sin phi Vy k cap minus Vz j cap, and Fv is equal to 2m omega Vy cos phi I cap. This is equation 5 and this is equation 6. So, these two expressions represent the expressions for the horizontal component and the vertical component of Coriolis force, and from this we can write Fh is equal to minus 2m omega V sin phi. Where V is equal to Vy square plus Vz square root over, and Fv is equal to 2m omega Vy cos phi. These two equations represent the magnitudes of the horizontal component and the vertical component of Coriolis force. Here what we have done, we have derived the expressions for the vertical component and the horizontal component of Coriolis force, from which it is seen that the horizontal component of Coriolis force tends to deviate the path of the particle towards the right in the northern hemisphere. That means, in the horizontal component of Coriolis force there is a negative sign, which implies that it always deviates the particle in motion in a rotating frame towards its right. That means, if the body is in the northern hemisphere, then it will deviate towards right, and from this we can conclude that in the expressions for the horizontal and vertical components of Coriolis force, there is the factor phi, which is nothing but the latitude of the point. Special cases: number 1, if the point of observation is at the equator of earth, then phi is equal to 0. So, which implies sin phi is equal to sin 0 is equal to 0 and cos phi is equal to cos 0 is equal to 1. So, Fh is equal to minus 2m omega v sin phi, which is equal to 0, and Fv is equal to 2m omega vy into cos phi, which is equal to 2m omega into vy. That means at the equator of earth there will be no horizontal component of a Coriolis force, but the vertical component of a Coriolis force exists. Number 2, if the point of observation is at the pole of earth, then phi is equal to 90 degree, which implies sin phi is equal to sin 90 is equal to 1 is equal to maximum, and cos phi is equal to cos 90 equal to 0. So, Fh is equal to minus 2m omega into v into sin phi is equal to minus 2m omega into v, and Fv is equal to minus 2m omega vy cos phi is equal to 0. Thus, we can conclude that on the surface of earth at the equator the horizontal component of Coriolis force is 0, whereas the vertical component is maximum at equator and is equal to 2m omega vy. Similarly, at the pole of earth the horizontal component is minus 2m omega v, which is a maximum, whereas at the poles the vertical component of Coriolis force is 0. But besides equator and pole, at all other points on the surface of earth, both the horizontal component and the vertical component of a Coriolis force exists, and the effect of a Coriolis force is vital on the bodies moving on the surface of earth, because our earth is considered as a rotating frame, which is a non-inertial frame, and a body in motion in a rotating frame experiences an imaginary force, which is the Coriolis force. That is why everybody moving on the surface of earth experience the effect of Coriolis force. So, let us have a brief discussion of the effects of Coriolis force on different types of bodies moving on the surface of earth. Let us discuss the various effects of Coriolis force. Basically, since the Coriolis force is a fictitious force, acts on a body in motion in a rotating frame or non-inertial frame, hence A body in motion on the surface of earth will also experience Coriolis force because our earth is a non-inertial frame as it is rotating about its axis. So, if a body on the surface of earth moves, then it experiences a Coriolis force, and from the components of Coriolis force we have found that a body in motion on the surface of earth will experience the Coriolis force, and hence it will deviate towards its right on the surface of earth. And in the northern hemisphere, if a body moves on the surface of earth, then it will deviate from its path towards the right, that is the east of earth. And in case of a freely falling body, the body will also experience the Coriolis force on it, and it deviates from its actual path, and it is seen that the Coriolis force deviates the body from its actual path towards its right in either the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. That is why it is believed by the people that a coconut falling from its tree never falls on the head of a man sitting under the coconut tree, because it is believed that in our mythology that coconut is the favorite fruit of God, and as it is the fruit of God, it never harms any people on the surface of earth. So, if a body or person is sitting under the coconut tree, then if accidentally a coconut falls from the tree, then it never falls on the head of the person. But what physics says that when a coconut falls from the tree with a greater velocity, then due to the Coriolis force, it deviates its path towards the right, so it never falls on the head of the man sitting under the coconut tree. And exactly similarly, the effect of Coriolis force forms cyclone. When a cyclone is formed, it is due to low pressure, and the pressure outside that place is more than that, and the wind flows from outside to the place of low pressure. And normally in Odisha, the cyclone is formed in the ocean. There the low pressure exists, and from other places wind flow to that place of low pressure. And when the wind flows with a very greater velocity, it experiences a Coriolis force, and as a result of the effect of a Coriolis force, it deviates towards its right. So that is why the meteorology department declares that at the place of a low pressure, the cyclone is developed and it moves towards its right. That is why in the recent past, there was a heavy severe cyclone in Odisha known as the Phoni, and this Phoni turned its path towards right. As a result, it struck at Puri, the solid place, and for which there was a severe damage at Puri in the city due to the severe cyclone, which is due to the effect of Coriolis force. And also in cases of rivers in our northern hemisphere, they often flow from west to east towards the sea. When the rivers flow from west to east, then in that case a Coriolis force also exists as it is moving on the surface of the earth, and as the surface of the earth is considered as a non-inertial or a rotating frame, hence the path of the river is turned towards its right when it moves on the surface in the northern hemisphere. That's why the right bank of the river is eroded more than that of the left bank. But in case of rivers flowing in the southern hemisphere of earth, the rivers flow from east to west, so that the river experiences a Coriolis force, and hence the path of the river bends towards its right, that is towards the west. So in northern hemisphere, the right bank of the river gets more eroded than in case of the rivers flowing in the southern hemisphere, because in the southern hemisphere, due to the effect of Coriolis force, the rivers bend their path towards the right, that is the left of the river. So the bending of path of the river, or the bank of the river which will be more eroded, is due to the effect of Coriolis force. And also the rotation of a plane of oscillation of a Foucault's pendulum is also affected by the effect of Coriolis force. The effects of Coriolis force already I have discussed, and the effects of Coriolis force are very interesting to know, that why a coconut never falls on the head of a man sitting under the coconut tree, why the right bank of a river gets more eroded in northern hemisphere, and also why the left bank of river gets more eroded in the southern hemisphere. All are based on the effects of Coriolis force, and the effect of severe cyclones and the formation of cyclone and the motion of cyclone towards its right is always due to the effect of Coriolis force. And hence here I finish the topic regarding what is Coriolis force and the derivation for the expression for Coriolis force, the components of Coriolis force like its horizontal component and its vertical component, and also we discussed the effects of Coriolis force. And here I am finishing the topic Coriolis force, and also here the unit 1 of your mechanics paper is finished. Many thanks to you.